of the 15.6 trillion naira Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, urging Nigerians to ignore his comments. Minister of Works David Umahi made this statement in Akure, Ondo State during an interactive session on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, saying critics of the project should avoid using the road when completed. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, in Chapter 6 of his new book, Nigeria, Past and Future, described the highway project as wasteful and corrupt. He also criticized the Tinubu administration for spending 21 billion naira on a new official residence for Vice President Kashim Shettima, calling it a misplaced priority. Recall that the Minister of Works, David Umahi, previously stated that the 700-kilometer highway will cost 4.93 billion naira per kilometer. The government has already released 1.0606 trillion naira for the first phase, which represents 6% of the project's total of about 15.6 trillion naira cost. Joining me on the program this evening is PDP chieftain. He was former chairman of the PDP in Lagos, Deji Doherty, who joins me live from the United States. Also joining me is Callisto Sokafo, who is a member of the Labour Party. Gentlemen, welcome on the program. Let's begin from Abuja. Mr. Okafo, following developments with the former president's book, I'd like to begin by getting your reaction to his statement as regards the Coastal Road and the thoughts he has expressed as being wasteful and corrupt.
Mr. Emmanuel, thank you for having me. Sometimes I don't like it when a past president or a past senator will be criticizing the present. For me, it doesn't make sense. But Mr. President, as long as I know, I'm talking about as long as I, Callisto Sujunwokafo, know, is doing very well. What is the dividend of democracy? Dividend of the good democracy is infrastructure, which is that road, good water, electricity, and all that. And you are saying that somebody who is doing what you could not do is wasting the funds. Honestly speaking, I don't see that as the right thing to say. For me, Mr. President has done very well. And look at, this is one president that are looking at the future of the masses. We keep on saying that youth is the future of tomorrow. But what we have seen in this country all these years does not translate to what we say by our mouths. But if you look at this administration, this government, you can see we may not understand what Mr. President is doing because they are not giving immediate results. Okay, let me give you an example. Look at the fuel subsidy. How he removed it. Everybody, we are all clean ourselves. We are saying this, that. The same fuel that gone to 1,000, 1,200, 1,000, this, 1,000, that. You can see fuel today coming down gradually. I'm seeing fuel coming down to a reasonable amount. It's a gradual process. So, and so take for instance, look at also dollars. When they came in, immediately fuel subsidy was removed. We saw dollar 1,008, 1,700, 1,006. Today, you can see dollar coming to as low as 1,500 and still going down. And still coming down. In this country, when a country that where something go up today, you will not see that thing coming down. You will see that thing keep on rising and rising. What it means, what it shows, that this president, this administration, they have good plans for the Nigerian people.
We'll wait to also watch carefully how sustainable the impact will be, especially the specific example you've made about the price of petrol. because there are conversations as to whether or not it is the global oil market, the forces of demand and supply, that is directly impacting on the price. Because Dangote had mentioned that one of the reasons for the gesture has to do with Ramadan. So perhaps we'll see what happens after the fast. But let me bring Mr. Doherty into this conversation. The Doherty is a PDP chieftain who joins us live from the U.S. Mr. Doherty, in the former president's assessment of President Tinubu's 2 years in office, he suggested that the practice of taking advantage of Nigerians will continue. I'm quoting him now from his book because, quote, everything is said to be transactional and the slogan is, it is my turn to chop, end quote. Do you think there's a thin line between political opposition and outrightly discrediting an administration without actual proof?
Well, thank you very much. I was quite excited when this question came up. You know, you all know that I've been a member of the People's Democratic Party for over 25 years. And I'm someone that speaks the truth to power. Now, what Tinubu is doing is very good and commendable. The Lagos-Calabar Expressway is something that Lagos State needs. And it is something that will bring the people of the South-South, Southeast, and the Southwest all together. Now, what General Obasanjo is saying, and I believe that that is where he's coming from, because this is a man I also knew when he was president. He has done a lot of good things, and no one can take that from him. You know, a lot of good things. We can talk about that from today till next week. However, what General Obasanjo, retired, the former president, was trying to say, it's simple. President Tinubu, put your eye on the ball. Make sure that the pricing, because the pricing of that project is the main issue. It's not the project itself. General Obasanjo will never say that, oh, a Lagos to Calabar expressway is a bad thing, or a coastal road is a bad thing. What he's saying, you handle this thing yourself. It seems to look transactional, and I don't think he was wrong in saying that. Definitely, Omeha was also a PDP governor. You understand, he is the Minister of Works today, and it is for him to look at it. The billions you are quoting per kilometer seems to be on a very high side. The project is not what General Obasanjo is saying, that is not good. Definitely the project is a laudable project. It's going to even bring more money, more income for the people of Lagos State. It's going to open Lagos State to the entire nation. It's going to open the trade. It's going to open commerce. It's going to open all sorts of private investments. So what that step that the present president has made, has decided on this project, is a very laudable one. I commend it. And what I will say is that let us see it through. Don't let it be a project like most projects that take 12, 13 years to complete. This project is one that should take at least 24 to 36 months. And that is my take on it. Thank you.
Mr. Doherty, you sound quite optimistic and seem to have a completely different interpretation for what the former president had said, because he didn't mince words when he called it wasteful and corrupt, and also even specifically referred to the money spent on renovating the vice president's residence as a misplaced priority and a way to steal public funds. But let me assume that you are close to him and you have access to the underlying meaning of what he has written about.
Let me say something. Even during General Obasanjo's time, with the laudable projects he had for power, look at what happened. Look at the people. He was changing people Presidents can have laudable projects to execute, but the people that now execute it is the problem. Once the president has gotten the Federal Executive Council to approve a project, it now becomes a project for that ministry. Except he decides he wants to follow that project up to the letter. And I believe that in naming it a project for the boys, a project of it's my time to chop and all those things, definitely it will strike a note of warning to Mr. President. So I don't think what General Obasanjo has said is wrong. I don't think it is not in place. It happened when the president was governor in Lagos State. We took him on that when he was a sitting governor in Lagos State. A lot of projects were like that. So I will take it that, yes, the decision to do this project is a laudable one, but if it's going to cost 5 billion, don't call it 40 billion. That is the most important thing. And let us make sure that the timing is quite, don't let us make the mistakes of the past. Remember also that during Obasanjo's time, there was this Lagos-Ibadan expressway that took forever.
That took forever.
You understand? That was not what Obasanjo wanted, but that's what happened. So definitely, Obasanjo is telling truth to power and telling him, look, don't make this something for the boys. Don't make the same mistakes that had been made in the past.
Let me bring Mr. Okafor into this conversation. Mr. Okafor, is there a sense to which you agree with Mr. Doherty that this is a call for transparency and accountability? And what measures would you recommend that the Tinubu administration bring to fore to be able to be accountable in this regard?
I was laughing when my brother in US, when he was talking, and he crowned it up when he said Lagos-Ibadan Road. You see, Emmanuel, if you ask me, I will say again that we have come to a point where we should stop criticizing someone in power when we are not there. Maybe we have been there. At the end of the day, we are out. We're criticizing somebody that is there. He mentioned about Lagos-Ibadan Road, which is still the way it is today. I understand that we should hold our government accountable in whatever they're doing. But whether you're a PDP man or you're a Labour Party man or any other opposition, the moment a president is elected, he's no longer a president of that particular party. He is a president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And what we owe him as a people, as his subjects, is to encourage him. If there's any reason you criticize Mr. President, criticize him in the right way. Then when he does something right, you applaud him. For me, you see that road. If you look at the people that work with Mr. President, people he put as ministers, you see what they're doing. They are no-nonsense people. You see, what is actually Nigerians are looking for? Me, as a person, I do not care whether it is 1 naira, it says 1 naira 20 kobo. Well, even during the days of Obasanjo, you cannot tell me that all the things they did it exact. We're not asking for that. We're asking for.
I hear you, Mr. Okafor, but given Nigeria's history of inflated contracts, are you concerned about the need to create concrete safeguards, that would prevent potential mismanagement of funds for projects of this nature? Is that something your party is concerned about?
Yes, of course. We must hold them accountable for things they do. But what I'm trying to say here is that we cannot keep on criticizing. He thought about how many years will it take, and maybe pardon. The word pardon is what is normal in Nigeria today. Pardon of maybe something that 1 billion will do, you say is 50 billion. But what I'm trying to say is that that is not right. It's not good to pad. It's good to give the Nigerians, give the masses exactly what they deserve. But most importantly, I want to let you know that this government, take for instance, let me talk about Mr. Project. You can see what Mr. Project is doing here in Abuja. Even abandoned projects before they came in, you can see the abandoned project has been taken care of. At a point, we start saying, why is he not doing bridges of his own? Why is it that he's completing the ones that people started? Of course, you and I to know today that even the ones he's doing himself is even more, is outnumbering the ones that they met on the ground. I assure you, we are Nigerians. No matter, irrespective of our political affiliations, we must support our government when they are doing very well. I am sure that Mr. President and his team, they are doing very well.
I hear you clearly. Let me bring Mr. Doherty in on this. I'd like us to speak quickly about the strategy of political opposition in Nigeria. You know, what we've seen play out over the years is perhaps an outright discrediting of the incumbent, or even an outright support in some cases. Do you agree that opposition can do better by preferring solutions rather than being merely adversarial?
You see, I don't know, I agree with what Mr. Okafor said. You know, like he doesn't care what the price of a project is. Look, the people are the ones paying for it. It's not Bola Tinubu's personal funds. It's not Obasanjo's personal funds. You understand? So you must be, as a citizen, as a responsible citizen, you must be able to look into what your government is spending on projects. Because that is, I mean, once you're a taxpayer, it is your responsibility to do that. So if Obasanjo is talking about inflation of projects or inflation of a particular project, he has the right to, as a bona fide citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Anyway, but I haven't said that. In terms of opposition, you understand, it depends on a lot of things. I can tell you for a fact that this particular government does not like criticisms. They do not like it. They don't have the temperament for it. They don't like to accept it. They don't like to hear it, and that is wrong. You cannot cap the Nigerian Labour Congress in your pocket, the NUPENG in your pocket, the student union in your pocket, the women's league in your pocket. All these are democratic structures. These, apart from a political party, these are all democratic structures. These are structures that keep democracy going. You understand? Even in the first world countries, you have the student union, you have the youth organizations, you have the labor union, you have all these people. Now, these are bridges towards sustaining democracy.
But that's the exact question I was asking, Mr. Doherty, that you don't think there's a thin line between opposition and being adversarial. The fact that they're not protesting or fighting doesn't mean they're not playing the opposition role. Do you agree?
Yes, I am. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm building up something for you to see the picture of what is going on now. Because you see the opposition. Where is opposition in Nigeria today? There's an impoverished citizenry in the entire country. And then you now have money and opposition outreaching those in different political parties. Everybody in every political party, they are all human beings. There's everybody that everyone has a need for something. You understand? So if you have killed the labor unions and all those people from being able to protest and talk about the citizenry and talk about the complaints, i.e., fuel subsidy that he is talking about, you understand? Nobody says that fuel subsidy shouldn't go there, shouldn't be removed, but it is how it was removed. All now, right. Look at the power situation. Everybody, every household in Nigeria is suffering the increment of this band A, band B issue. Now, what I'm trying to say is this, that there are structures apart from opposition parties. There are structures that are supposed to be able to talk out, speak out to government.
Mr. Doherty,
these structures have been identified.
We have completely run out of time. I'm afraid we have to go now.
Let me just land on this. Let me just land on this. The APC putting their hands in Labour, putting their hands in SDP, putting their hands in PDP, and all these things will not work. Dr. Wike is my personal friend. He's my leader, and he will always be. However, I believe that those political parties should also have their constitution.
Your point is clearly made.
If you do not follow the constitution, then you have a problem.
We have to go now. Mr. Okorafor, in 30 seconds, do you agree that Labour Party is in Mr. President's pocket, like your friend has alluded to? They say your party has been bought over.
All opposition parties,
including yours. You have called me Emmanuel like 3 times now. My name is actually Nifemi. Emmanuel is the producer. Yeah. You have 30 seconds.
Sorry, my brother. You agree with me that there was a time they said that Mr. President or APC was funding me. You see, when it doesn't make any sense anymore when people would say that political parties in anybody's pocket. Just like they said now that Abure, Mr. President is funding PDP, funding APC, funding this party. It's not true. Mr. President is busy doing what he's supposed to do as a president, taking Nigeria to next level. And the people who believe that they're losing out is crying foul, crying that he's putting everybody in his pocket. Mr. President does not put anybody in his pocket. He's doing the right thing. That is.
We'll continue this conversation subsequently.
Listen, it doesn't have to be Mr. President. Please, let us clear that. I did not say that Mr. President is putting any political party in his pocket. There are political parties and there is the presidency. You understand? The political party could have put people in place to go into other political parties.
I hear you. Mr. Doherty, we'll find some other time to continue this conversation, but we have really overshot now. But PDP chieftain Deji Doherty live for us from the U.S., Labour Party chieftain Callistus Okafor in Abuja. Gentlemen, thank you so much for talking to us on the program this evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that's our show today, everyone. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.